it's Katie from Nurture Yoga here, and this is a short and sweet restorative yoga class just designed to help calm the body and the whole nervous system in preparation for hopefully a beautiful night's sleep. So for this short class you will require some kind of bolster or pillow or cushion, a blanket or maybe a towel, and either a yoga block or a nice fat book just to help prop up the bolster in a later pose. So let's begin in a supported child's pose. So bringing the knees nice and wide on the mat and pulling the bolster between the knees. And on the exhale, we're just going to walk our way down, bringing the heart to meet the bolster. So really feeling into that connection between the belly and the heart, feeling those calming sensations of being held against the bolster. And resting the head, allowing the entire body to melt. So riding the exhale into a deeper relaxation, just using that as a cue to the body to let go. And as you begin to soften into this pose, begin to scan through the body, checking that there's nowhere where you're holding tension. Checking that the arms are completely released and heavy on the mat. That the torso is weighted beautifully on the bolster. And then bringing your awareness into the lower back and noticing if there's any additional length that you can allow to emerge by releasing the muscles where the spine meets the pelvis. And then allowing the attention to drift to the breath. Just noticing what the breath is doing here. And you've got the presence of the bolster against the belly and the chest just to help you really tune into the sensations of breath coming and going. You might even be able to hear the heartbeat as the chest and the ear are both pressed up against the bolster. Just tuning into everything in the body as it slows and softens. And just with as much quiet and ease as possible, changing the turn of the head now to bring the head to face the opposite direction. Continuing to watch the breath as it eases in and out. And maybe even now beginning to consciously draw your inhales a little bit more deeply into the belly. So just completing 3 more breaths here, feeling into the pose, remaining present with the sensations. And when you've done so, just gently raising the head on an inhale, pausing here, and then on your next inhale, walking the hands back towards the body. Spend a moment here. I invite you to close down the eyes just to feel the transfer of weight as you come upright, and allow the blood pressure to adjust gently and slowly. And we'll come now into a side stretch, a deer pose. So bringing the bolster widthways across the mat and bringing the hip beside the bolster. Knees can either be offset like this, or if you're a little bit more open through the hips, you might come into full deer pose with the knees at right angles to the thighs. On the exhale, we're just going to bring the body down, and the bottom arm becomes the pillow for the head. And again, allowing the exhale to carry us more deeply into rest and release. Checking that the head is heavy against the arms, so you're releasing through the neck. And then if the upper arm feels okay to do so, you might drift it up and over. So the top arm rests in the palm of the bottom arm. Allowing everything to soften again here. Checking that the jaw remains soft. Head heavy, neck released. And even checking for other areas in the body where you may hold tension. So if your arm is overhead with the top arm, just checking that the hand and the arm is completely released. That the bottom arm is not tensing in order to hold the head, that you're just allowing everything to completely release, and the bolster and the floor will catch you. And then attention to the breath. And just seeing if you can draw the breath a little bit more consciously into the upper ribs. Feeling those ribs open and expand on each inhale. Drawing in a gentle stretch to the side body. If you get any pins and needles in the hands, then I invite you to just bring that arm back alongside the body. So now let's repeat this on the other side, and to come out of this side stretch, we're going to bring the top hand forward to the mat so that we roll the torso towards the bolster. Use the arms to come up. And just like we did out of child's pose, just spending a moment here, allowing the body to adjust to the upright position again. And now let's make our way to the other side. Again, knees can be offset or in full deer pose. Just listen to your body as to what is safe and supportable for you. And then on the exhale, bringing the side body over the bolster. Bottom arm extends as a pillow. And I'm releasing the head onto that lower arm, Just allowing the body to soften here before we move that top arm into place, if that's where you'd like to go next. Jaw remains soft. Muscles of the face smooth. And scanning the body to see if that lower arm is tensing at all. Can you relax and release it, and even into the thighs and the legs. And of course, if you'd like to bring a deeper stretch into the side body, just drifting that top arm overhead and releasing the top hand into the bottom hand, a little cradle for your hand to rest in. And like we did on our first side, inviting the inhale into the upper ribs, feeling that opening and expansion of the ribs, but not forcing deep breaths, just allowing them to gently open and stretch. I invite you to complete 3 more mindful breaths here, savoring what is restful and enjoyable about this stretch. And coming out by bringing that top arm down alongside the body if it is overhead, and then rolling the torso towards the mat, using the arms to gently bring the body upright and pausing again at the top of the pose. Let's make our way now into a supported fish pose. So this is where we're going to use our block and our blanket. So I'm going to use the block to prop up the back of the bolster, so you might use a nice thick book if you don't have a block. And I'm going to use the blanket as a pillow for my head. So bringing the pelvis up to the bolster, and on the inhale we're going to come back, keeping our knees bent initially. Taking time to feel at ease. If you feel any compression in the lower back, lift up the pelvis, lengthen it away, and then allow it to drop again, and just see how that feels and whether it eases any compression. You may want to lift the back of the bolster further if you still feel some compression. So the hands are palms facing the sky, and this allows a broadness and an openness across the collarbones. Just feeling the back body supported by the bolster. And then if you would like to, you might even extend through the legs, keeping the feet about hip width apart. Allow the feet to just fall to the outer edges of the mat. And once again, everything releasing and softening. I invite you to ride the exhale into a deeper relaxation. Just noticing your inhale too. And if you're breathing up high in the chest, how can you soften that chest breath and bring it down into the belly? So allow the belly to soften and expand. Then guide the exhale into relaxation. Just trying to remain present with the sensations of this deeply restful pose. The heaviness of the head and the back. The comforting presence of the bolster against the back body. And arms and legs heavy and released. Continuing to breathe deeply into the lower belly and feeling that heavy release on every exhale. Complete 3 more mindful breaths here in fish pose. And to come out, bending one knee first so that the foot comes flat to the mat. And then slowly the second knee joins. Feeling into how the back changes here when we bend the knees. And then when you're ready, making your way out of the pose in whatever way feels intuitive to you. Just doing so really slowly and easily. So we're going to leave our bolster set up on the block for this final pose, which is a variation of legs up the wall, but we're going legs up the bolster. So you can use a strap around your legs or just use your blanket to wrap the legs up like a little sausage roll to keep the legs together, and this helps to switch the muscles off so they don't feel like they need to hold themselves together on the narrow bolster. So I bring my bottom right up to the bolster and then make my way onto my back. And hopefully that gentle inversion of the legs feels really delicious and restful. Just checking how the upper body is meeting the mat and whether there's any adjustments you need to make. So first of all, maybe bringing the neck or turning the head left and right just to release the neck and make sure it's easy and long with the head weighing heavily against the mat so the neck can switch off. And if they aren't already there on the back body, bring the shoulder blades flat underneath the body by lifting up and rolling the shoulders back. Feel the flatness of the shoulder blades, palms facing the sky, a little bit away from the body. And then allow that entire torso to rest. Note the grounding sensation of the torso against the surface beneath you. And then that lovely comforting sensation of the legs being wrapped up and held so that the muscles don't have to do any holding. And finally, bringing the breath back into this pose to move us ever more deeply into that state of rest and digest. Just by drawing the inhale into the belly and feeling that beautiful heavy exhale as a rebound from the inhale. And while you continue this beautiful, slow, deep breathing, let's just scan through the body now, checking that there's no unnecessary tension beginning at the back of the head and feeling the heaviness of the head against the mat with the neck released and soft. Noticing the skin on the forehead, is it smooth and at ease? No tension between the eyebrows. And then noticing the muscles around the eyes and feeling an additional softness there, almost like it's filling with little pools of water. The jaw just slackened off a little, no tension there. Throat is soft. Feeling now into the arms and hands and the heaviness of these as the muscles completely release any effort. Belly soft, buttocks soft. And noticing the muscles of the thighs and calves. Feeling how these are soft and released. And then attention down to the feet, completely at ease. And finally, gathering together a sense of the body as a whole, lying here in space. Just feeling into the entire body at rest. Receiving every breath and releasing tension with every exhale. So this is where I'm going to leave you, and I invite you to stay here in this pose for as long as you'd like. And I hope that this very short and sweet practice has just helped to bring a deeper sense of rest and ease